Hi Virgo, welcome to your weekly check-in for the 12th to the 18th of November. If you'd like to book a personal reading, then please see the information in the description box below the video. Feel free to like, share or comment on the video, and you're also welcome to subscribe to the channel as well. And I'm going to start pointing out, which I keep forgetting to do, that this reading is for anyone with Virgo as their sun, moon or rising sign. And I am considering putting a link in the description box as well, for anyone who's not familiar with those sorts of things. If you need to figure out what your birth chart is telling you or what is in your birth chart, I may put a link for that. Anyway, let's get on with your reading. These are the oracle decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. We're going to start off with the Power of Surrender card for your main theme. And if you hear any strange rustling noises, it would be me shivering because it's winter. Well, actually, I don't know if it's winter or autumn. Either way, it's freezing in the UK. And it seems to get 1 degree colder each day. So, yeah. I do have heating. I'm trying to conserve my my electricity for the evenings, but yeah. So let's see what your main theme is so far for the weekly check-in for the 12th to the 18th of November. And as you can see, usually my arms are bare, aren't they? But it's cold enough that I felt the need to have my sleeves down today. It's a UK thing, I think, where we like to complain about the cold a lot. Right, so main theme for Virgo. Right, that was very quick actually. Right, we have surrender your desire to control people. So it says being over-controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup and give the situation some breathing room. So, I mean, yes, it could be literal, but sometimes this can also be about our expectations of people, can't it? Is that blurred? I think it's blurred, isn't it? It's hard to tell at the minute. It's our expectations of people. Sometimes it's not that we are literally trying to control people and be manipulative, but we have certain expectations, which everybody does, don't they? Everybody has their standards and their principles. And we kind of get overly annoyed if people don't meet our standards, which, fair enough, yeah. It probably is going to be frustrating or annoying if people don't meet your standards, but what can you do, you know? We can't control people, hopefully. So, and the other side of that as well, which I've mentioned in a previous video before, is with controlling people, it's where we only show, we hide parts of ourselves because you're trying to control, you kind of trying to control people's responses and reactions to you. So, you know, like if you have certain hang-ups about your personality or something, that you feel can't be accepted. So if you started dating people, you're very concerned about how you're going to be perceived, and you start to hold things back about yourself, and you censor what you say. Not just romantically, it could be any situation, but that's just an easy example to give, you know. So it's like, in a way, yes, you're not trying to be maliciously controlling, but you're trying to control the way you're perceived. And I think we tend to do that a lot in life, don't we? Because we're not going to behave the same way with every single person that we meet. We are going to be a bit different with each person. But it's, I suppose, when the hang-ups really impact the way you behave and the way you are, and you really are censoring yourself. So anyway, let's look at your theme from the cards as well. I know I've gone deep into that at the beginning of the reading and we haven't even got tarot cards out. But what is the theme from the tarot for Virgo as well? So what else do we need to know about Virgo's theme? Oh, okay. Well, to be frank, yeah. So what I was just saying about when you start to censor yourself, if that's the way this is relevant to you, it's a very protective energy, isn't it? It's like it's where you feel that you're going to be attacked. If you were to be your true self, or you feel like you're going to be judged or stuff like that. So, you know, that's when the defenses can come up and you feel very protective towards yourself. It can be, the other side of this is where, so I know I'm getting deep into this already and we've barely got anything out, but So it's the same sort of thing along the lines of where, say if you're quite an outspoken person, and it can be difficult for people to, that can be difficult for a lot of people to relate to, kind of. It doesn't necessarily mean you're wrong, but not everybody can handle. I'm getting this image. I can't remember what reading I did now, if it was one for this week or last week, where I was talking about, and I've remembered the movie now. I mentioned the movie in another reading and I couldn't remember what it was called, A Few Good Men. And you know the scene, I haven't seen the movie, I've seen bits and pieces with Demi Moore, Jack Nicholson, I think Tom Cruise is in it as well. And the part about you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, that's what it's making me think of. So if you are someone who's quite outspoken, then you may feel quite defensive, because not everybody can handle the truth, can they? Or, I mean, truth can be subjective as well, or you can go along the lines of, there are, is it three truths, your truth, their truth, and the truth, or however you want to look at it. Yeah, that's another way of looking at it. So let's get some more cards out, because I feel like I'm just talking constantly rather than looking at the cards. So your energy specifically. Did something come out then? I'm going to put that back because I don't know when that came out. So let's try that again. So your energy specifically, how you're dealing with things. Yeah. Well, okay. So I was just talking about A Few Good Men and the truth, and you can't handle the truth, and you get the Ace of Swords, which is like, it's the first sword of truth in the tarot, isn't it? Like the aces are number one. Right. Okay, Virgo. I guess I'm tapped into something today. Right, any external or surrounding energies? Any external, and you know what, I may have to call your reading, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth, depending on what else comes out. You've got the Wheel of Fortune and guidance for you. Any guidance for Virgo? We have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay. So if you are in any kind of situation where there's an issue where people aren't meeting your standards, or you're feeling defensive about, protective towards yourself, you might be kind of assessing or evaluating or something how to handle the situation. The external energy, it could be just it could be that somebody else wants change. It could be that you want change, or it could be just an overall energy of, yeah, something needs to change here. Something needs to be done differently, like a different approach. But let's get your clarifiers out and see what comes out for you. I wonder if there's any copyright infringement if I call the video, you want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Right. So Seven of Wands. So that's the main theme. We've got the Six of Swords. Anything else? I don't trust that for some reason. Let's try that again. Anything else for the Seven of Wands, please? You've got the Sun. I'm already getting a vibe from the Six of Swords and the Sun that you may not have any tolerance for bullshit at this point in time. That's one possibility coming out here. Anything else? Sort of an energy of, if you can't match my standards, or you can't face up to the truth, that would be your approach to things, then yeah, I'm done. I can't be a part of that. That's the kind of vibe I'm getting. Anything else? We've got the Magician there. We've got the Five of Cups, and I'll get one more. And you have the Emperor in reverse though. Okay. So I don't know if you feel like something may be leaving you. So there's two ways of looking at this Emperor now. Right. So one can be a feeling of disempowerment. So again, in situations where you are feeling protective towards yourself, you may feel that certain situations, or a certain situation, disempowers you. So you want to move away from that. You've had to be protective towards yourself, and you want to move away from that and go towards what you feel is the truth. and what you feel is right. The other way of looking at that would be a controlling person as well, wouldn't it? Like the Emperor can be controlling, but when he's in reverse, it can be a misuse of power. So, and I guess in reverse, so that would be the more controlling side of the Emperor, because upright, yes, he's a leader, but in theory, he should, I suppose it would be more the King of Swords that would be a fair leader. Not to say the Emperor can't be, but the Emperor's like the boss. It's like you do what he says. So, but for a purpose, like there's a purpose behind it. In reverse, it would be the controlling, but to the extremes, more to the extremes. So I think, what am I going to look at? I mean, as I said, you might be feeling disempowered and have no tolerance for bullshit. So this way is where you go towards your truth and where you feel empowered, because the Magician is the one that's in control. He's confident. He knows that he's capable. He can achieve whatever it is he wants to achieve. Let's look at that Five of Cups first of all, and then I'll look at the Emperor on its own. So why is the Five of Cups here? I mean, that would be disappointment, wouldn't it? That could be where you've been hurt or disappointed by people. If it was more along the lines of not feeling accepted, there may be struggles for you there where you just don't feel accepted by people. And that's disempowering as well, isn't it? Even if it is that it's more that you're censoring yourself, that's, you know, I'm sure there's still a level of awareness there that you would be doing that. So Five of Cups. Why do the cards not want to come out? I mean, you've got Seven of Swords kind of wanting to come out. So, yeah. Oh, dear. Five of Pentacles, yeah. There is a strong possibility that you feel like you're not being accepted by people or a person or a situation. Because that Five of Pentacles, I mean, that can be rejection, can't it? It's being left out in the cold. Jesus, and I was going on about the cold, wasn't I? Constantly at the beginning of the reading. Yeah, being left out in the cold. Very strange. Anything else after that Five of Cups? It wanted to come back out. That was meant to come back out. Seven of Swords. So, again, that's that whole thing about the truth. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Or it can be, that could be where you are, or you have censored yourself, or feeling like people want you to censor yourself and not express the truth, potentially. Let's get one more for that, although I kind of feel like we've got enough on that. One more. What did we get? Seven of Pentacles. Yeah. So if in those sorts of situations, you are going to sort of question, is it worth it? Is it worth me being here? Is it worth me engaging in the situation, engaging with these people? Let's look at the Emperor and see if that is that you? Is that somebody else? Because then, I mean, that could be somebody. In terms of controlling, if you're in a situation where you feel like you're not allowed to express yourself honestly and you have to censor yourself or you have to defend yourself every time you speak the truth, that could be an external energy of someone who, it's like they want to control what you say, think and do as well, isn't it? So why is the Emperor here, please? I don't know why I feel like I have to take that, the Moon. That's like, it feels like hidden motives. And it can go either way. Again, it could be like a dictator type energy of somebody who's quite manipulative and controlling, and but they're trying to hide their motives. Or again, that could be that whole thing of where you're feeling like you need to censor yourself, so you're not showing who you really are. Anything else for that? How am I going to take that? Oh, God. They've all dropped out of my hand, so I might as well take them at this point. Right, we've got, I think this one was first, wasn't it? We've got the Tower. You have the Fool. You've got the Queen of Swords and the Four of Wands. So there's, well, it looks like there's been a disruption to a foundation, first of all, with the Tower there and the Four of Wands. That Fool and the Queen of Swords, that's your, I'd say at the very least, it's your desire to speak freely and openly and to feel like you can be yourself. So again, the Emperor, it could be you potentially. And again, I said the manipulation, it doesn't have to be deep, dark, like narcissist type manipulation. It can be just having high expectations from people, or not sort of showing who you really are because you feel like you can't open up. But yeah, there's like a desire here to be able to be yourself and to express openly what you believe in, but there's some sort of could be a power struggle, to be honest. But I'll leave that there. But the key thing here is like a protectiveness or defensiveness towards yourself, I would say. So let's look at that Ace of Swords. That's your truth. That's your beliefs, isn't it? That's your principles, your standards, your morals, even. You just may have this thing in you at the minute where you just really have a big thing about being able to speak the truth or express the truth. So let's get more. I'm just putting all these cards back. So Ace of Swords, what else do we need to know about that? That's your energy specifically, how you are dealing with things. I mean, even if you have been in a period or have gone through a phase of censoring yourself, with that Ace of Swords there, you may not be, you might have gotten to a point where it's like, no, I'm not doing this anymore, if you're not already outspoken anyway. Right, so Page of Pentacles. You've got the Hanged Man. Well, I'm not surprised the King of Swords is there. Let's get some more for that. This Seven of Pentacles is just going to keep coming up, isn't it now? Let's get one more, and I'm going to look at that Page of Pentacles, I think. Still getting a question about whether it's worth, potentially whether it's worth speaking up on something, or whether it's worth remaining in a situation where you feel silenced, potentially even, or like someone's trying to silence you. So I would say that's a representation of you, the King of Swords. It's either, again, that you are speaking freely or openly, or you've got a really strong desire to, and you question whether it's worth it. The Hanged Man for me would be the thoughts that you have that you're wanting to express, or the ideas that you have. Let me look at the Page of Pentacles, because it's kind of like, it almost feels like you'd want a new start here, but because of this interference or inability or restriction or whatever it is in terms of you speaking out, it's like it can't take off, if that makes sense. So the Page of Pentacles. Why is the Page of Pentacles there? We've got the Six of Cups. I'm hearing something about of little value with that Page of Pentacles. And I know sometimes I say with the Page of Pentacles, yes, it can be about planting a new seed, a new start, but it can be where people make you feel small as well, or you end up feeling small. And that thing about of little value, if we're going on the side of someone who feels like they can't be themselves and express themselves, it may be that you feel that what you have to say is of little value. On the other hand, if you are someone who is outspoken on that side of things, it's that you feel that whatever you say is of little value to others. Even if you believe in yourself, it's like you just feel like nobody's taking me seriously. And that would be holding you back. Let me get something after that Chariot. Yeah, it's the energy of like, it's again, it's a duality kind of thing. Is it, again, it's both ways. If you feel like you're holding yourself back, that's where you're holding yourself back. If you feel like you're outspoken and having to defend yourself, you've been battered and bruised because you've spoken up too much. Okay, so what else do I want to look at? I'll look at the Hanged Man out of curiosity. I still feel that's more like the thoughts that you have, or the ideas, or whatever, or beliefs, and that's what you keep to yourself. That's before you say anything. Hanged Man. That was really aggressive the way that flew out, wasn't it? We've got the Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Okay. Again, that's that bringing up that concept of little value. Like, say if you had a really, like, say at work is a really good example or easy example. Say if at work you had a really good idea for something for the company that would be really abundant. It would be very practical. It would just be all round a really good idea, but you feel like it's just not taken seriously. You're not taken seriously potentially. Even if you've said it before, you may have held it back because you feel like no one's going to give a shit anyway, or you may have said it and again still feel like nobody values it. That's what I'm getting from here. I'll clarify the Death card. I don't really feel that there's a necessity to, but that's where it's just things not being able to change, is it really? So for you, you may feel like whatever situation you're in, that you're just not having an impact. You can't change things. So again, is it worth it? Is it worth me clarifying the Death card? Let's have a look. I mean, it could be in a relationship as well where you feel like you're not heard. Yeah, it's an inability to change things here, and it doesn't mean it's your fault, but it's just, I mean, this is where you choose a new path and then there's a new opportunity there, but things aren't changing, so that can't happen. Yeah, so as I said, if it was a relationship, you know, you don't feel like you're heard and you want things to be different in a relationship, you want it to grow or whatever, and you just feel like your partner doesn't listen to you if you talk to them, or you just feel like you can't talk to them because they're probably not going to listen to you anyway. And in those situations, we kind of, in our own way, we do want to control the person. And the way I mean that is that you want them to hear you, you want them to listen to you, because that, you know, you want to control them in that way, not maliciously, but you just want them to do what you want them to do. But we can't, you know what I mean? It's up to them if they choose to listen. And then from that, if whether or not they listen or are able to communicate with you effectively and you're able to come to a compromise, then that's how you decide what to do next, don't you? Right, let's get these off the table and we will now look at the external energy. So that's one where change is needed, and I mean, the Death card is at the end here. So whatever truth it is that you have, you at the very least, you feel it should be able to change things, but it looks like it isn't. Or it's an expression of wanting things to change, but it's not happening. So let's look at the wheel. Why is the wheel here? The Wheel of Fortune. Why is that there as the external energy? I feel like it's probably more overall, an overall energy of something needing to change about a situation or a relationship or whatever in general. Right, we've got one person here that looks like they're just closed off. So on the one hand, it could be where you're unsure whether to communicate whatever you feel it is that you need to communicate that will change things. That could be a bit of indecisiveness there of, oh, I don't know, I want to say it, but I shouldn't say it, blah, blah, blah. On the other hand, that could be a person that you are wanting to communicate with, but they're kind of blocking you out. And again, not taking you seriously, because you've got the Page of Swords there. It's a card, it can be a card of communication. It can be new truths. It can be needing more information, sharing information. Let's get another one after that. But it's a child, isn't it? And with certain things, in certain situations, we don't take children seriously, do we? And I think I've given this example before in another reading. Like if you're having a general chat with a kid about food or toys or something like that, yeah, you've got all the time in the world for them. But say, for example, I don't know why I'm getting this example. If you were having some deep, in-depth political discussion and a little kid tried to get involved, would you take them seriously? Probably not. For the most part, you wouldn't really take them seriously, would you? And that's the vibe I'm getting here. It's not to say you're a child or what you have to say is childlike or anything like that, but it's just that vibe of not being taken seriously. Anything else? But that needs to change. Maybe someone out there does need to improve their communication skills, whether it's listening skills or speaking skills, because listening is an important part of communication as well, isn't it? So communication skills, right, we've got the 8 of Wands there, which is about communication, and just bear with me, the one that has fallen is the 2 of Pentacles. What comes after that? So what comes after the 2 of Pentacles? Right, you've got the 9 of Pentacles. I'm going to look at the 2 of Pentacles on its own. It feels like weighing up like opportunities. What do we need to know for the 2 of Pentacles? Anything else for the 2 of Pentacles, please? You're weighing up opportunities. You've got the 2 of Wands there. That's where you choose a path or a purpose or an opportunity. And then the Empress is something that's abundant, isn't it? So there might be an important discussion that's required that you're involved in or involved with, or a decision to be made to change things. But again, it's like you're probably not being heard or taken seriously, potentially, or you haven't expressed what you need to express yet because you fear that you won't be taken seriously. But you've got the 9 of Pentacles there, and that's a card, can be a card of independence, liberation, confidence, etc. So it could be saying that you need more confidence. It could also be saying that for things to change, you have to kind of do your own thing in a way. Because this can be a card, 2 of Wands is a card of choosing your own path, isn't it? It's not usually a group decision. Something like the 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles, that would be like a group decision. This is more a solo matter. So it could be sort of saying that that things won't change unless you kind of do your own thing, because then you will be able to do it your way. That's one possibility if you're unable to come to a compromise. Or again, it could just more be a matter of confidence, of expressing yourself confidently. Let's try that again. Because with the Ace of Wands in reverse, it's not, yeah, something's not happening. That would be a new, like a new chapter. Again, a new chapter. You got the 8 of Pentacles there and the High Priestess. This is about trusting what you know, or trusting yourself. So again, this bit really could be saying that you may have to go off on your own to do whatever it is that you want to do. I mean, does it necessarily mean cutting people off completely? Probably not. Maybe not. But yeah, it is giving a kind of vibe of you may have to do this by yourself. Like, say if you are in a company where you have a really good idea for something, it may be that in that particular company you just can't do it, that you're just not going to have the support you need or the backing that you need. So rather than hoping that people will do what you want them to do or do it your way, it's a case of it ain't going to work here, so you're going to have to do it somewhere else. Again, if it was a relationship, whatever your expectations or standards are for that relationship, it may unfortunately just be that with the person that you're with, you may not come to a compromise. And then you decide if you can continue as you are, or if there's any other compromise that you can make, or if not, what do you want to do? So let's put these away. I mean, I would say also, as much as we can feel that our idea is right, and it's not saying it is wrong or right, it may be that we need to listen to others more as well sometimes to get their perspective, and then we can come up with a compromise. It just depends on your individual situation, doesn't it? So let's look at the 7 of Pentacles, and that was the guidance, is it worth it assessment. I mean, that could be the whole taking a step back. It says to more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup and give the situation some breathing room. That could be that there. So 7 of Pentacles, why is that there? Oh, that's breathing room, isn't it? That's space, that's distance. That's where you take a break from something. You have time to recuperate. So, okay. Right, I'm probably going to need to clarify that 6 of Cups on its own. that could just be an indication that in order to prevent the past repeating itself, to take a step back. Like this is, if this is an ongoing situation or like a broken record type situation with a person or in general, it may be that instead of trying to approach it in the same way, again, take a step back and see how you can approach it differently. Anything else for the advice? The Seven of Pentacles. The Chariot, okay. I mean, for me, that would feel like trying to do things differently once you've had like a timeout, is what I'm thinking. So, yeah, I'm going to take these. So we've got this one here. Oh, which way? I'm going to do it upright because I'm not sure. Nine of Swords, the Justice card, and the Two of Wands. I'm going to get something for the Chariot, but I still kind of feel like that take a step back thing back is not a bad idea. Whether it means that you take a step back, as in give the situation some breathing room to think things over for yourself and for whoever else is involved, or take a step back as in, yeah, this is just never going to work. We've given everything we can give to it. We've tried different ways of doing it and it's not happening. I just don't think there's a way this can work. And then needing to choose a different path. But you would need to decide what is the best option here. What makes the most sense in the situation. Let's look at the Chariot. I'd say that's asking what creates the best foundation. There's also something about acknowledging what you've achieved so far here as well, because I believe the Chariot can be connected to achievement, and how to move on that as well, how to move on your achievement. Are you taking however you want to move forward? Is it going forward, like as in taking steady steps forward, or is it those kinds of situations, you know, is it like one step forward, 3 steps back kind of thing, and weighing that up? In other words, I would say it's like, are you kind of negating is the only way I can think of saying it. I can't think of another word. Like moving choosing to move in a particular direction. Is it going to negate what you've already achieved or diminish what you've already achieved, or is it like a continuation? If that makes sense. And I guess it just depends on what is going on specifically here for you. Like, say, I think the only example I can give now, say if it was a relationship, a romantic relationship, and you want to take it to the next level, but there's disagreement between you and your partner and you're trying to come to a compromise, and say one of you wanted to move in together as the next step, or say you already do live together and you want to get married. One of you wants to get married but the other one's having doubts, and then one suggestion is that you move out and live in separate places again, and that will make the relationship, I don't know, somehow that would make it better for one person. And it's sort of looking at that, and for one person that wouldn't make sense, would it? Would be like, well, no, then that we're going backwards. We can't go backwards, you know what I mean? We've already built a foundation. We can't go backwards. So, you know, it's assessing what's the best thing. I know that's a weird example. I couldn't think of another example to give in that. Pros and cons, weighing up the pros and cons, I think. I'm going to try that again. It still doesn't feel right. Okay, so that's to do with equal give and take, and it's to do with balance. So I would say however you move forward from this, is it going to be fair to you? Is it going to be fair to the other person? I would say you're probably going to want to prioritize yourself first within reason, because prioritizing yourself isn't about being completely selfish and dismissive of everybody else's needs as well. But is it going to be fair? Is the main thing there. Anything else for that Chariot card? I hope I'm making sense. I know I probably sound like a jumble of things, but I'm finding it difficult to explain what I'm saying. So you've got the Hierophant. I'm just going to get one more after the Hierophant, because the Hierophant can be a funny card. That means some quite opposing things. That might be to do with the rules, actually. Could be institutions involved here. So again, if it was back to work, to do with work, like an employment situation, then that might be an issue here. That might be a challenge, and you may be contemplating, is the situation at work fair to me? And if not, then what do I need to do to change that so it is fair to me? Whether it is that you need to go off and do your own thing, or is there any way that you can make a change in that situation? But yeah, the Hierophant, it feels like the rules that are currently, or standards or whatever it is that are currently creating the challenge here. But again, it's up to you to decide what the best thing is. So to summarize the advice, it's about, from what I said, is kind of taking a step back, whether it's just taking a break to figure things out or moving away from the situation, because it's just not going to benefit you in any way. Like it's not going to help you to progress in any way. And there's no other benefit to it. So I'll leave that there, and I'll get you a final card of advice. So this is going to be from the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guidebook. All right, so you've got grief, if you can see that properly. Actually, I don't feel like I trust that card. I'm going to try that again. I'm sorry, I know I put it down. I was doubting it while I was actually putting it down, to be honest. Let's try it again. I can't go with it if it doesn't feel right, just because it came out. Anything else for Virgo, please? Right, there we go. Impasse. You're about the third sign to get that card this week. So I should know it off by heart at this point. This makes sense. This actually makes sense. You'll get what I'm saying when I read it. So I'm glad I actually did go with my gut and decide, no, that grief card didn't feel right. Right. So the character Reggie Rust, it says, this path is obstructed, reroute. So I think that's probably what the whole point is of this taking a step back. So they've got a little story or legend they've created for the character. The message isn't that long. It says, the legend, Reggie Rust is a guardian angel. One day, two friends, Clem and Craig, are dismayed to discover Reggie blocking their path through the mountains with no way to get round him. Wondering why Reggie wanted to stop them and not daring to try to pass, they take another route. Reggie then moves on, having protected Clem and Craig from a landslide ahead that would have claimed their lives. The inspiration says, this is a reroute, not an ending. The path is blocked and you are at an impasse, but the goal is still there. Do not wait for your present situation to change. Stay focused and find another path. The personal inquiry says, how adaptable am I? What does this card reveal about my feelings and my reaction to delays? Key ideas, change of direction, regroup and refocus. Protection from harm, guardian angels. Keywords, wisdom, opportunity, surrender. And it's just because that regroup, it's there as well, isn't it? Regroup. Okay, so that could be really relevant. I don't think I need to add anything to that. That impasse message just, sums it up. So I'm going to leave it there for you. Thank you for watching the video. I hope there was something helpful. I know that I did get to a point where I was saying a lot of stuff and it was hard to express what I was trying to say. So hopefully you can make some sense of that. If you'd like to book a personal reading, again, see the information in the description box below the video. You're welcome to like, share or comment on the video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel as well. But until the next video, take care, Virgo.